They say your business is only as strong as the people who build it. You can have a killer idea, a flawless pitch deck, and the perfect product mock-up. But if you've got the wrong people rowing your boat, you're just splashing in circles. Attracting the right talent isn't luck. It's leadership. And in the startup world, it's your most important competitive edge. Let's break it down. Let's talk about how to hire right. 1. Assess the need for talent. Before you rush to post that job ad, take a breath. Hiring someone is like adding a new gear to your machine. It changes the way everything moves. So before you do it, ask yourself, do I really need this gear right now? Start with clarity. What actually needs to get done? What's slowing you down? What kind of help do you need? And for how long? In startups, hiring is a big commitment. It costs time, money, and focus. So first, look at what can be outsourced. Accounting, payroll, digital marketing. These can all be handed to specialists or freelancers. This frees you to do what only you can: grow the business. If the task is short-term or specialized, get a freelancer. If it's seasonal, hire on a fixed contract. The smartest founders don't hire fast. They hire right, because every seat you fill too early adds complexity you don't need. 2. Hiring talent. Once you're sure you need someone, plan your recruitment like you plan your product launch. Bad hires cost more than bad code. Start with your job description. Think of it as your company's dating profile. It should attract the right kind of people and repel the wrong ones. Be specific. Define the title, describe the role, outline the skills, and set the terms. Don't promise a ninja, a rock star, or a unicorn. Promise clarity. The right person will be drawn to purpose, not hype. 3. Review the applications. Now comes the flood of resumes. You'll see the brilliant, the bizarre, and the plain irrelevant. Your job is to filter through the noise. Divide them into 3 piles: likely, not sure, and unlikely. Focus on skills and experience, not names or biases. Look for people who've done something similar, but who are still curious enough to grow in your world. Make notes, real notes. These will become gold during the interview. And always keep a future talent file, because today's not yet could be tomorrow's perfect fit. 4. Shortlisting and interviewing. Now comes the interview, the grand performance where everyone shows up in their best costume. But your job as a founder is to look beyond the script. You can start with short screening calls to filter the crowd, then bring your top picks for deeper conversations. Plan your questions in advance. Keep the tone conversational, not interrogative. Ask open-ended questions. Listen, really listen, not just to their answers, but to their energy. 2 of my favorite interview questions come from real-world legends. What do you think of our business? That's your test of curiosity. Have they done their homework? What do you think of our company? That's your test of observation. Have they noticed the culture, the people, the vibe? If they haven't, they're just here for a paycheck, not your purpose. Avoid personal or discriminatory questions. Those are legal and moral landmines. Instead, ask one that reveals character. Who has made the biggest impact on your career? Leadership consultant Margaret Heffernan has a rule. Don't hire people who can't name anyone who ever helped them, because gratitude is a marker of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is rocket fuel for teamwork. And take this advice from Mark Zuckerberg. Never hire someone unless you'd be happy to work for them in another universe. That's not just witty, it's wisdom, because leadership is mutual respect, not hierarchy. And watch out for soloists, people who can't play in a band. Startups are orchestras, not one-man shows. 5. Choosing the right person. Now that you've met the candidates, here's the real test. Who fits the story of your company? Because hiring is not just about capability. It's about chemistry. The best entrepreneurs hire for attitude and train for skill. Skills can be learned. But attitude, that's culture in human form. When you know your pick, call them personally. Offer the job. Confirm expectations and salary. Then send a written contract. And don't ghost the others. Thank them. Give feedback. How you treat candidates says as much about your company as how you treat customers. When you want to build a high-performance team, think of building a team of A players. If you want to master hiring, grab a copy of Top Grading by Brad Smart, a powerful book on building teams of A players only. Smart divides them into three types. A 1s, future executives, the ones who will lead someday. A 2S, high performers who can grow fast. A 3S, solid achievers who can own a role forever. The goal? A company made entirely of A players. Because when everyone is elite, even your average days outperform your competitors' best. Here is a golden rule for startups. Hire only when it hurts. This one's sacred for startups. Hire only when it hurts. Don't hire because you're bored or busy. Hire because the work is overflowing and your quality is slipping. If the pain of not hiring outweighs the cost of hiring, that's your signal. Otherwise, wait, automate, simplify. And if someone leaves, don't replace them immediately. See if you can function without that role for a while. You'll be surprised how often you can. Overhiring leads to busy work, fake projects, and real costs. Lean teams are nimble teams. Test drive before you buy. Here's a secret the best founders swear by. Interviews can lie, but performance never does. So before you hire full-time, test drive your talent. Give them a mini project, 20 to 40 hours of real work. Watch how they think, how they make decisions, how they ask questions, how they treat others. You're not just testing their skills, you're testing their chemistry with your mission. When you hire based on proof, not promises, you build teams that deliver, not just dream. Building a startup is like climbing a mountain. You can't do it alone, and you can't afford the wrong climbers. The right people won't just work for your dream, they'll fight for it. So hire smart, hire slow, and hire with heart. Because in the end, ideas don't build companies. People do.